The Bible, a topic of heated debate. Let's talk about what it's not about first. What the Bible is not about. The Bible is not about judging your brother. It's not about looking at a person who smokes and saying you're going to go to hell because you smoke, you're going to go to hell because you drink, you're going to go to hell because you use heroin. That's not what it's about. It's actually a book that tells us why we do those things and how to get away from it. It's also not a book to judge other people by religion, you know. It's not to look at another person and say you're a Buddhist, I don't like you because you don't love Jesus. You know, you're a Muslim, I don't like you because you don't love Jesus. You know, it's not a book for that. Even Jesus himself said, I have other sheep which are not of this fold. And you can speculate about what he meant by that, but until we can prove what he meant by that, it's safest to think that he meant that everybody in these other religions were humans as well. Anyways, so, like, it's got some pretty stark warnings in the Bible. There's some pretty obvious things that people just tend to overlook. One, you have the first king that was anointed was Saul. You go back to the book of Samuel, first or second Samuel, and you'll find this. Samuel makes a comment when God tells him to go anoint Saul as king that it's a great wickedness that the people are doing and asking for a ruler over themselves. All right, that's interesting. It's interesting to think that the Bible actually states it's wickedness to have government or a ruling faction. That's key. That's interesting. Then you see David, after he's anointed king, at the end of his reign. I'm not sure where to find this. Maybe the end of Chronicles or Kings. Maybe Second Kings, Second Chronicles. I don't know. There's First and Second Kings and First and Second Chronicles. It's toward the end of David's story, and the Chronicles and Kings kind of like tell the same stories twice in a different way and just a little bit slightly different. At the end of his story, he takes a census and numbers the people, and there's a huge thing about like God hated it, and he saw it as a sin, and he like sent an angel of destruction on top of the people. So today we have Social Security number. And that's a census on top of the people so that they can keep a register and keep track of us. And if you look around, I mean, we have something like the plagues of Egypt on top of us. People are sick everywhere. And medicine's not curing them, you know. Like, we continue to go back to doctors, and it's just, this situation just seems to be getting worse. So we have that, you know. It notates David taking a census and that God was mad about it. It notates that government, it's wickedness to ask for a ruler over yourself. Then you see Jesus' beginning story. It notates that there's a census that's taken. So, like, they have to go and register. So, again, we see this census thing happening by the king at the time. So, all of this is pointing at, like, what we have now. And then we also have, like, you know, the golden calf that the Israelites made whenever they went out into the wilderness after leaving Egypt. So, they toppled a government, and then they went out and then formed another government. And the golden calf was a symbol of that. And if you don't think that the golden calf is a symbol of that, let me just point you to Wall Street and the gigantic bronze bull statue that's up there. So this is an indicator that, like, we're being ruled by the same thing. Like, they were trying to make money. Like, when he made the golden calf, they took all the gold earrings, and we know that, like, gold is a currency to us. So they made it out of gold earrings. So gold is the standard of the U.S. dollar, or was. Who knows what is the U.S. standard now? Probably sawdust and broken dreams. Anyways, so yeah, we have the golden calf as well, and then we see that there will be certain things that get built up. Like, we have a temple of Baal now, and I'm not, like, this whole Satan worship thing, like, you're not fooling me. The devil of the Bible is cash. The love of money is the root of all evil. Okay, people act like Satan's the root of all evil, but the Bible says the love of money is the root of all evil. So therefore, I know that when people begin to love money, they won't care for people. And then I'll see what I see today, which is a person can't have a house without buying land. Okay, there's no love in that because the money owns the land and the person doesn't. All right, a person can't have a house without running water. There's no love in that because the money that would be paid to the utility company to purchase the water can own the house, but the person can't. Then you can't have a house without electricity. It's condemned. So again, I see the utility bill. The company it gets the cash. So the company, the corporation has the right to the cash, but the person doesn't have the right to the house. So we're denying people like basic rights. You know, eating is a basic necessity, but you can't hunt without paying for it. You can't fish without paying for it. So I see that, like, the corporations are running things, and this is what the Bible's actually warning us about, is these things. Anyways, I'm just going to keep it short and keep it right there. Just a couple of things, the bronze bull on Wall Street is the golden calf of Egypt. And the Bible definitely does talk about not conforming to the pattern of the world. So it asks us to come out from the system. And we see stories in the Bible again and again. It's the same repetitive story about wicked rulers and people overthrowing them. So this is what the Bible is about. It's about understanding the times and knowing the government is wicked and escaping from underneath their rule and becoming a free people again. The Constitution is written on biblical principles. The Founding Fathers were all Masons. Masons believe that you keep the Bible by your side every day and you read it all the time as you go through your life. So these men knew the Bible. They knew what to look for. They used it to overthrow King George. We can use it to topple our government. Freedom of religion is a way to do it. We need to get back in line with harmony with nature and escape from the dependence on the system. And that is a religious aspect. They can't make a law forcing you to have a Social Security number because the Bible's against it. So you need to understand the Bible, understand the times, and know what your defense is when you go to court. Claiming Christianity is no longer about judging people. It is about knowing the government is wicked and eliminating these corrupt people from power.